everyone. Now normally I would be advertising my app Libru, but today I thought about doing something different, because what's the use if this channel is just a bunch of videos of me advertising my app? Then soon I'll be out of video ideas in no time. So I thought, along with advertising my app, I should also give some honest opinions and some like tech related videos. You get the idea. So well, today we are going to talk about something interesting. We are going to talk about the brand Apple and its products. Now here are the three categories. Category number 1. As a dash person, what Apple product do you actually need? Number 2. If you decide to dive in the Apple ecosystem, then if you are a dash person, dash products do you actually need? Apple products, of course. And finally, number 3. Why didn't these items show up in my list? And what is the reason behind them? So well, now that you know everything, let's go with the first part. I am a dash person and want to go get an Apple product. What product should I get? Let's go. Here are the categories: creative, normal, heavy load, movie level and all-rounder. Starting with the creative. Now creative people as such are people who are they do like things like maybe they could be doing Qimu emulation, or they could be doing vibe coding, not industrial type like vibe you get the point. Basically doing things out of the box. So if you are like that, then I suggest you get the MacBook Pro with the M5 Pro chip or the M4 Pro. You get it. So I feel like you should get the base MacBook Pro with the M5 or M4 Pro chip, because you see the MacBook Pro, not only the MacBook Pro, I would have said the MacBook Air also, but here's the thing. If you're creative, then there's high chances that you'll probably be doing some things which requires a lot of cables. And if you're doing something like that, then you will need lots of ports. And I'm sure all of us know that if you look at the MacBook Air, then it doesn't have that many ports. So the MacBook Pro is a great choice. And why the M5 Pro? Why not the base M5 or the M5 Max? Because the M5 Pro is like the perfect combination. Neither is it too normal, neither is it too underperformance for a creative person, and neither it is too overperformance for a creative person. M5 Pro is like the perfect middleman. And if possible, you should also get accessories such as Thunderbolt 5 dock and a GAN fast charger. But definitely don't buy Apple's $100 cables, because believe me, Apple's cables are too overpriced, because you can get another cable from another brand for way cheaper, and sometimes the cheaper cable is more stronger than the more expensive cable. I'm not saying that Apple's cables are very weak, but you can literally get the same quality or even better quality in fact for cheaper. So why go for Apple just so that you get the Apple logo on the box? Okay, now normal people. Who are normal people? Normal people are people who do general work on their Mac. Nothing out of the blue like emulation or something. And if they do, then they do it once in a while, not too many times. So that is a normal person. For example, people who go to office, you get the point. So if you're a normal person, then the MacBook Neo is the best. Because not only is it cheap, but it is enough. It is enough for office work. In fact, it's quite good in many things. But if you're planning to buy it for gaming, then you should not buy it for gaming at all. Because primarily Macs are known for not having the best gaming. So the MacBook Neo would be like, it would be terrible. Unless you're playing some small game, then that's understandable. And by small game, I mean something like maybe an old version of Minecraft. You get the point. Then we move on to the heavy load. Heavy load is like if you took two creative people and combined them into one person. Basically creative level 2. So if you have heavy load, then you should get the Mac Studio. Don't worry about this level 1 or level 2 that is written here. It doesn't have any importance. So if you're heavy load, you should get the Mac Studio with the M5 Max chip. Because this is like, it is great. It is insanely great. Because it has such good performance. It has so many features, and you should also get 512 gigabytes of unified memory so that you have enough storage. Though, yes, RAM prices are rising, so if you get less, then I can't blame you really. And it's also like a mini supercomputer because this M5 Mac chip carries a hell lot. A hell lot. Anyways, next we have the movie level. Now, for the movie level, it is the Mac Studio once again. But instead of the M5 Max chip, is the M5 Ultra chip. Now, Ultra is basically like, if Max is great, then you can't imagine how good Ultra is. Because believe me, now that the Mac Pro Tower, also known as the Apple Cheese Grater, is discontinued, this is the best beast. This is the best and most recent beast that is left in Apple's product line. Because it can handle a lot. It's basically once again a supercomputer. Actually better than a supercomputer. Because like I told you, if for heavy load the Mac Studio M5 Max is a mini supercomputer, then imagine what the M5 Ultra chip can be. So if you're like a corporation like Marvel or DC Studios, then this is the thing for you. Mac Studio with the M5 Ultra chip. Now we have the all-rounder. Now this all-rounder is for all categories except movie level. Because movie level, Mac Studio is the best. There's no all-rounder which is for all of them. Because if I would include movie level, then the all-rounder would be the Mac Studio with M5 Ultra chip only. But then there would be a problem in that, because that would be like wasting your money. So, I feel like we should remove movie level from here and focus on what normal people use. And by normal people, I don't mean only the normal category. You get it. Like, let's take corporations out of the picture. If you're a corporation, you can leave the video here only because your answer is the Mac Studio with M5 Ultra, blah, blah. Now, let's go to the all-rounder, which is the MacBook Pro M5 Pro. Yes, it is the same thing that is over here. Why, you may ask? Now like I discussed, this is already great for the creative level because why else is it given there? Normal, if you would get an MacBook Pro with an M5 Pro, then it would be like getting a MacBook Neo with a better chip. Like, let's say you get an opportunity, then as a normal person, the MacBook Pro, if you would overspend a bit, then the MacBook Pro would be great and it wouldn't be considered as like throwing your money or wasting your money. Heavy load. Like I told you, heavy load is creative times 2. So for heavy load, MacBook Pro is just like a portable Mac Studio with it's like a portable Mac Studio for the heavy load category. And yeah, that's it. Oh, also I would like to mention that it can last up to 1 day. And it can edit a whole movie on a single charge. Yes, this has been in fact tested. I have verified my sources. So, that is the end of the first part. If I am that person, what do I need? Now, you may say, hey, all of this is talking about Macs. Where is the phones or the iPads? Well, once we go to the ecosystem, we'll get to that soon. Which, surprise, surprise, is the next part. So, I will be back with the ecosystem part. Till then, I will be taking a break because I've spoken too much and I am in desperate need of water. Bye! And hello again. Now, we move on to the second part. The ecosystem. Now we have all the categories except the corporate level, also known as the movie level, because they are corporations. Now let us start. Starting with the first category, creative. For creative, it would be the MacBook Pro with M5 Pro, like I told you, along with the iPhone 17 and the iPad Air M4. Let's start with the iPhone 17e. I believe the iPhone 17 is great because it has everything, every new feature. It has many software updates for the future. It is cheap. Though it has one camera, the camera is good. It is cheap. No, wait, I already said it's cheap. It has the latest features. It has the A18 Pro chip. It also has its iOS 26. It basically has everything. The only thing it doesn't have is Dynamic Island. And Dynamic Island is just like an additive that makes something look futuristic. And along with that, we also have the iPad Air M4. You can use this as a second monitor and you can use this to do other works. Like the iPad Air and the MacBook. I put the iPad Air here not because the iPad Air itself is good as a standalone device. I've put it here because combining the iPad Air with the MacBook Pro would create a great result. Considering all the new features that have come in iPadOS 26 and all this sync powers. Next, we have the normal. Along with the MacBook Neo, the iPhone 17e, because like I told you, cheap, reliable, good, latest updates, A18 Pro. Same reason as that was given in creative. Now heavy load. The Mac Studio M5 Max and along with that, the iPhone 17e. I won't repeat myself because I told you guys. Plus the Studio Display XDR for a big and good display so that you can see clearly and you can make out if your video is crappy or if the display is crappy. But the display will never be crappy, so you know it's your video that's crappy if the quality is not good. And along with that, the iPad Pro. Because I'm not sure if you know this, but the Mac Studio as such. If you search up the Mac Studio, then go here, Mac Studio. Now it seems small and it seems like you can just transport it. But mind you, this is for a desktop. So not only would you have to get this, but you would also have to get a keyboard, a monitor, a mouse. You would have to get all of these things. So I feel like instead of getting all of these things, it would be better just to get the iPad Pro. Because then then you can leave your Mac Studio at home and you can continue everything on your iPad Pro. Because number one, just like I said, with the new updates and features, syncing has become way more better. And number two, specifically the Pro, because it has better performance and you're doing heavy load, so you need better performance. But actually there's one thing I would like to mention. Unless you are an artist or a graphic designer, you should only get the iPad Pro or the iPad Air alone. You can also get the case with it if you feel like that would be better, but don't get something like the Apple Pencil or the Apple Keyboard. Only get the tablets and maybe the case if you want. Because if you would bring the pen and the keyboard, then it would be a wastage of money. Now, finally, the all-rounder. MacBook Pro, 14-inch, 15-inch, whatever. Along with that, Watch Ultra 3, because it's like a phone on your wrist and it's very useful for finding your phone. It's useful for checking, and because it's on your wrist, like if you leave your phone at home, then it's literally on your wrist, so you really can't forget it. AirPods Max 2. Mind you, I'm not saying the Max 3. This Max 3 is just wasting money. The Max 2 is basically, the Max 3 is basically a copy of the Max 2. Because the Max 2 has the same features. By getting the Max 3, the only upside is that you're getting the chance to show off that you have the latest one. And finally, the iPhone 17e, which, well, everyone knows why the iPhone 17e is great. Now, we can finally move on to the next part, also the last part, which is what products were not mentioned and why. Because there are some big products which right now people think are great products, but they don't know the truth behind these products and how buying them would basically be like wasting your money. Anyways, that's all for this category. Now I will prepare my notes again and I will take another break because once again I am in desperate need of water. So, bye! Oh. Oh. Hello. Now we are moving to the third part. What items weren't here in this list and why? Let us start. Starting with the HomePad Smart Display. Now this is delayed actually, and there are two reasons. First reason is, you know how in Windows there's Microsoft Copilot, but Microsoft Copilot is everywhere. So that's why people hate Windows 11. Well, I have a feeling it will be the same thing here. The only thing is it will be And it will be like an iPad mini with Microsoft Copilot. Because Microsoft Copilot was a problem because it was everywhere. Along with the fact that it was bad, it was also like everywhere. So I feel like the same thing's going to come. I feel like the same thing's going to happen here. It's going to be like an iPad mini which has lots of Siri in it. Lots of Apple Intelligence. Yeah. So it's probably going to be a big fail. And also because Siri is a problem. Because this thing is dumb as hell. Apple is still waiting. Wait, I wrote spellings wrong. Waiting for Gemini integration. And half of the time, instead of giving results, they just give a bunch of websites. Oh my god, RESULTS. They give a bunch of websites instead of giving a result. Imagine this. If you were searching AI and told AI what is 1 plus 1. And instead of giving you what is 1 plus 1, it gives you all the sources it checked to check 1 plus 1. It wouldn't do something like that. You get the point. So it's basically a dumb assistant. After this, we have the iPad 12 base model. Where do I even get started on this one? Let's start with the reason of why it hasn't come out yet. Apple is still stuck on releasing a billion versions of the iPad 11. Companies were already scared of the number 9. But now in 12, no wonder Windows hasn't released Windows 12 yet. Anyways, and they just launched the MacBook Neo to see if kids prefer laptops over tablets, which is actually true. The problem is they are marketing the iPad as a new Mac, but it is shit in computer stuff. They're trying to show the iPad as a new Mac, but the iPad's terrible. To be honest, if they wanted to do something like that, then they should have just put Tahoe, macOS Tahoe on it, instead of taking iOS 26 and turning it into some cursed jailbroken looking like iOS operating system. And anyways, who would buy an iPad 11? Any iPad where you have to get the pen, where you have to get the screen and you have to get the keyboard separately, when in a Mac you get both of it. That too, if you would buy an iPad with all the accessories, I bet the MacBook Neo, it would either be as expensive as the MacBook Neo or even more expensive than the MacBook Neo. That's how bad the iPad monopoly is. And I'm not the only one saying this. Many people say that Apple is trying to do this and is failing desperately. Like the iPad is basically having an identity crisis. And finally, the Mac Pro 2020. Now, there's nothing wrong in this. I'm just giving you guys a refresh. Cancelled. I was planning to add this as a thing which I could put for the movie level thing. And maybe even for the heavy load. Maybe. But it got killed. I told you before also that the magnificent cheese grater with $100 wheels got killed. So, because they realized Apple Silicon doesn't need a giant tower anymore. Because, to be honest, like I told you, the Mac Studio killed it. And I'm talking about this Mac Studio, by the way. So, well, yeah, that's all. So, please, if you wouldn't mind, please do like, subscribe, share, comment, blah, blah, blah. And help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Even though right now I am barely close to that. So, bye! Wait, what? Wait, what's the knocking sound? Oh no.